So if you walk in here, there are a couple of enemies. That also includes that dude. However, I didn't really want him to see me under these circumstances. But it's all good. It's all good. We got things covered. Compared to most other situations, I'm actually handling this level a lot more successfully than I thought I ever would. I thought I would just get my arse kicked, but no, everything seems to be going well. We have a nice full phone booth right here, so we're gonna use it.
Hello? Is this Sam? Yes. Who's that? It's me, Sam, from the second encounter. I knew you'd call. I'm pretty close to Mental right now. I'm getting kicked in the ass. Hey, can you tell me what's in store for me? Look, I'm really busy right now. Can you call later? Damn, wish him luck. Well, I wish myself luck. Whatever.
And that is pretty much the final secret phone booth of the game. Interesting note, in Zumb'ul 2, there's actually a phone booth where you hear the other side of that conversation. And since I'm not playing Zumb'ul 2, I figured I might as well point that out. Over here, there's a barrel. If you blow this barrel up, there should be a secret power-up hidden behind it. I don't think there's anything else that I need to pick up over there, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up because it is an invulnerability power-up. And we could probably use this invulnerability power-up because there are a couple of traps here or there when we enter this next area. And oh look, there's a beheaded firecracker! He's dead now! Yeah, it's just, yeah. These guys, they just decide to throw him in, and then, yeah, it's over. Anyways, this invulnerability power-up is quite handy because you can use the last couple seconds of it in this area because of the pumpkin heads, and the pumpkin heads are a little bit scary. However, once it does end, I'm gonna switch to the chainsaw to deal with all these marsh hoppers. And since the mega secret is disabled, then I'm just gonna kind of take my sweet time right now. This is where the marsh hopper spawns. You could theoretically just stand right here and hold the chainsaw down, and you should be able to kill all the enemies. Oh, I need to be prepared for this situation, because clearly these guys are being a little bit rude, just standing over in this hallway being all, yo, we can snipe you from a distance, we're cool! And you want to be careful of that kamikaze right there, because he could bring a severe amount of pain and suffering to you if you aren't careful. I'm just gonna quickly bypass these arrow traps. This room has a couple clear skeletons. I'm gonna just quickly go into the water check and see if there's a secret down here because, yeah, okay, this secret does exist in the classic version. I just needed to make sure because I always seem to remember it being in Series Sam HD, but no, it's also in Series Sam Classic. So, in case you couldn't tell, it was a secret heart power-up, and secret heart power-ups are always nice. Now, the clear skeletons love to hang out in the rafters, and you basically just sort of have to lure them down if you want to have an easier time dealing with them. Like, there's this dude. And there's also this dude that just decided to run at us out of nowhere. Let's just check and see if there's anyone else. Oh dear. Oh, there's a couple more behind me. I don't know where the first guy came from, but... well, I guess I sort of do know where he came from. He came from up here, obviously. But, yeah, sometimes it just... yeah. Sometimes it just utterly confuses me as to how some enemies could see me. If I could actually talk right now, that would be great, but I guess I won't ever get my wish. Clock mechanism! If you want to proceed, you should find some way to reach that ventilation shaft up there. This medieval clock mechanism doesn't look too firm. Maybe you could turn it to your advantage by breaking one of its teeth. Find the weakest link. And really, we could do that, or we could also just wait for it to just... we don't really need to break anything, I suppose. We can just wait for it to, like, disappear as this, and then we can ride our way up. Wait for this certain part of the mechanism to have a little platform to stand on, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm pretty sure you could just rush it if you did the trick right, like, just maybe sort of rush your way up and then get crushed immediately. Yeah, that was part of the plan. So this is the area where the mega secret is. You see that door over there? That's actually the door that opens when the mega secret is enabled and disabled. Now, what we could have done is we could have bum rushed our way here and actually gotten the secret, but what we can also do is we could just shoot a bunch of rockets at this door, And eventually, the door will just blow up and we could get the mega secret anyways, and that's actually really, really cool, so let's just do that instead. So yeah, see, the door's open now, so having not wasted your time by too many stretches, I hope, that we could go ahead and pick up all these delicious, delicious power-ups, and this includes invulnerability, so we're just gonna go ahead, take care of all these enemies right here. But yeah, this mega secret is probably worth going out of your way for. It's probably good if you're going after all the secrets that you just use the method I used, and that is of course to simply go ahead and just fire a bunch of rockets at the door, and you should be able to pick it up in the end. Because it does count you as picking up the mega secret anyway, as far as I know. I don't believe you get like extra points if you get the mega secret after it's been enabled. I'm pretty sure it's just if you get the secret either way, then it should work, theoretically. I wasn't really paying much attention, but you can also see we picked up a secret bit of armor right there if you really needed it. Now, this next area, I'm not too big of a fan of. So, this is the castle entrance. We can't get into the castle while the bridge is up. I suggest we find some trouble here. I suggest we cause some trouble here. Maybe they'll lower the bridge to send reinforcements. This could be our chance to get inside. As I just said, I'm not a fan of this area because it spawns this dude, and that's pretty cute, like, you have to admit. But then it spawns just a huge wave of enemies, and all of these enemies are generally unpleasant. So my strategy for this area is I wait for as many enemies to spawn as possible, and I basically deal all my damage from a very cheap location such as this. Like, you could probably hear a lot of them right now. Like, simply put, I have never exactly survived that much doing this particular fight the normal way, because it is just so nasty. They send so many horrible enemies at you. And since I have a Sears bomb stashed away, I'm probably going to be using that instead. So we're just gonna like take a quick look over here and probably get hit by this rocket. That wasn't exactly on my to-do list, but oh well. And that clear skill looks like it got confused because it had no idea what I was doing. So I'm just gonna use third person mode to maybe look out there for a bit. Maybe if I could just sneak a peek right here. Yeah, I can see there's a lot of enemies out there. I'm sort of waiting for the right time of when I could... I think I just heard a pumpkinhead die. Sometimes the enemies will fall down the bottomless pit across the castle entrance. Right now I'm just sort of waiting for the correct time to use this Series bomb because I only have one right now, but we should be getting more relatively soon. So, okay. What I'm probably going to do is maybe just run out and use the Series bomb right now. And as you can see, that worked out fairly well. And this makes this area just slightly more manageable. So, I'm gonna go ahead, run away like a coward, because I'm gonna fall off. And yes, by slightly more manageable, I did mean I sort of had to fall off for that to work. So, we're gonna try this again. We got our first Series bomb back, so we're just gonna use it right now, and then hide again. Now, since it does start spawning a bunch of enemies, we're going to just take our time and maybe deal with them accordingly from here. Theoretically, what you can do is you could just... I'm gonna show this off real quick. You could just, like, go over against this ledge because there is a bit of walking space over there. You could just rocket jump over the side of the wall, and you could skip this area entirely without having to wait for the drawbridge to activate. However, I do believe there's a secret hidden behind that building over there, so I'm gonna wait to clear out all the enemies first. Like, that guy over there, he does see me, but he probably can't hit me. Yeah, yeah, he can't hit me. Alright, I just had to make sure he couldn't. Otherwise, that would have had a pretty sad ending. And that guy, he's acting so adorably. I wonder if I shoot him enough times, will he fall off? This has piqued my curiosity. Like, on some surfaces, the enemies like to fall off, but on some other ones, they don't. Not really sure why that... Yeah, that guy's just kind of having his own little adventure out there. Let's see if I can maybe... Yes! And his body just flies all the way up onto that tower. That is so entertaining. Let's just check and see, scope out the situation right there. It looks like there's an invulnerability power-up, so theoretically I could have done this the normal way, but since I'm a bit of a pansy, I'm not going to do things the normal way, because my previous experiences with this level have never been very good. So, I'm a good shot. I'm a very good shot with this weapon, you guys. Okay. Look, at least that guy gave me time to consider what weapon I should use for the situation. Alright. I'm pretty sure most of the nasty enemies are cleared, so we're gonna watch these clear skeletons just fall down the pit of death and destruction. Or watch these guys just spawn, like, right next to me, deal a sufficient amount of damage. This is the clear spawning point, so it's probably not good that you stand there in that particular area, but if you, like, maybe if you hold the chainsaw right here, they should never be able to hit you. But I think we've dealt with the gist of them, so... Oh no, there's still a couple of them spawning right now, however, we could probably run this way without too much hassle. So there's that dude right over there. And since I have nothing better to do, I guess I'll just go ahead and pick up this invulnerability power. You know, not really do anything good with this. I probably could have done this battle the traditional way, as Crow Team had intended for me to do, but at the same time, I really don't care. And there's secret armor right here, if you desperately needed it after that battle. If you did properly, you probably would desperately need it. I'm just glad it's over, really. So, I'm gonna pick up this fine ammunition backpack, and we're going to enter the entrance of the Citadel. And also take a drink of cold coffee. Castle interior. Good job, we have entered the castle. The Book of Wisdom is in the highest room, and guess what? We are currently at the lowest point. It's a long way up, but someone's gotta do it. That someone would be you. Now, Netrix makes this next area out to be a bit of a long stretch, but it's actually not that lengthy. In fact, it probably will only take us about less than 10 minutes if we just sort of keep a steady pace along the way. So, fret not, this level is fairly short, as I said. Not too long. Everything should be good in the end. So let's go ahead, maybe shoot at this guy for a bit, who can't seem to find us because he's trapped in that one area. His AI, unfortunately, does not allow him to run forward. And right over here, we have a bunch of clear skeletons. So, you do want to be careful about that, because they just suddenly appear from behind that wall. And there isn't much strafing space right here, so I'm kind of doing this fight a little bit improperly. How'd you not die from that, you bastard? Closed door? This door is firmly secured from the other side. We'll have to find an alternative way in. Why don't you check that drain pipe on your right? And yes, indeed, this door is unfortunately locked, so let's just use the other way. A little bit of a wire slide right here. And once you swim in here, it actually spawns a few fish. Some rather rarely seen enemies up until this point. Like, we don't really see that many fish nowadays, which is not something I'm complaining about, because I'm not really a big fan of the Electro fish. There's also some secret health back here if you desperately need it, but it's also good to pick up if you want the extra secret credit points. And there's also some ammunition for the shotgun. Since I wasted a bunch of it, I guess there's no harm in picking it up, really. Let's just go ahead and swim to this other side. There's another fish for one thing. I guess the guy spawns once you swim over here. There's also some extra ammunition, although we haven't really wasted any rockets, so we don't exactly need it for the time being. If you walk up this way, there's actually going to be a Zumb'ul down there, so I'm just going to stay scoped in until he spawns. So he will spawn on this particular island, if I recall correctly. There he is. Okay. You're being ultra sneaky, aren't you? What about your friend over here? Yes, he's being rather sneaky. Rather sneaky! Just like this guy! Oh my god! Sneaky pumpkinhead! Alright. Pick up this ammunition. You do want to avoid these darts. As always, they do have a pattern as to when they fire, so you can just sort of wait to when the darts actually fly by, and then you should be able to pass by without too much issue. I'm not really demonstrating that very well, as you can probably imagine. This next area, what you probably want to be doing is destroying these little crusher devices because this is a fight sequence. So, let's see what Natrix has to say. Great! This is what we get for taking the shortcut. Unbelievable! Sam, if you could do it the first time, you could surely do it again. On the other hand, I don't think that a single soul will mourn for this place if we blow it up. The decision, as always, is yours. And just as Natrix says, it's probably in your best interest to blow up all the crushing devices in here. And interestingly enough, you can also destroy the pillars, so you probably want to be doing that so that way that gives you just a little bit more leg room, and it makes it a little less awkward to fight all the enemies in this location. And there is a secret heart up there. We unfortunately cannot get that secret heart just yet, although in due time we will, so let's just go ahead and trigger the enemies, which mostly consists of clear skeletons and marsh hoppers if I recall correctly. It starts off with marsh hoppers and that's not too bad, so I could probably just use the chainsaw for a while. However, once it starts spawning clear skeletons, you might want to switch over to the flamethrower, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I prefer the chainsaw over the flamethrower just because the chainsaw is a lot more broken with its hitbox. It makes fighting marsh hoppers a hell of a lot more easier, but with the clear skeletons, you might want to consider using the flamethrower because they have a considerably large amount of health, and the chainsaw really only does damage when the enemies are right in your face. And these clear skeletons, they do like to get in your face, but you also want to keep your distance away from that at the same time. So, following that advice, I'm probably going to be doing that. And that wasn't really a hefty amount of enemies. Once those gates open, then that's when it just spawns a bunch of these dudes right here. By a bunch, I mean 2 of them, specifically. And I'm just gonna keep spamming rockets till they all die. Actually, this secret health is not so secret at all, because it's not apparently a secret, but I guess it sort of looks a little bit secret if you first noticed it, and you're like, oh hey, I wonder how I get that health. Press the switch, go on and press the switch. Did I ever say you should press the switch? A wise man once said to me, press the switch. Words of wisdom indeed. Do you know what to do? Hint, think, switch. Natrixa is very helpful. She's about as helpful as Navi from Ocarina of Time. Only maybe she's a little less annoying, because in Serious Sam 2 she's British, and British women are always nice. Yeah, that's basically what you have to do. You just have to hit the switch, and then run back immediately before the elevator rises up. Now, you do want to be careful because this elevator can crush you. I would advise you avoid that possibility. Switch with an exact purpose. You pressed the switch and the elevator came down, but are you quick enough to catch it? Why yes, because I sort of predicted that's the way we have to go. So Natrixa, I appreciate your advice for pressing the switch. And walking up here, oh look at that! We have a nice little picture of Crow Team right here. Strange painting. This is some strange old painting. It seems that the castle's owner didn't really appreciate true art. I don't know, they all look like fairly decent people. Right, so this is actually the end of the level right here. Once we bounce out of this area, there's just a quick little fight sequence, and then that should be it. Since I have remaining minigun ammunition, I'm probably gonna just quickly go ahead and deal with the enemies like this. And that guy unfortunately managed to fire out his fireball before this was all over. I would prefer he had not done that. And since I have a lot of armor to spare, I'm just gonna like take all these shots as I please and just very casually deal with those dudes. Oh look, you're just right behind me. You dealt a lot of damage. That's okay, because there's just a barrel right here. And this barrel actually contains secret armor. And I do think we actually got all the secrets in this level, so that's pretty good. And this is the end of the Citadel level. We get this nice little cutscene sequence right here. Sam holds that very fancy looking rocket launcher. That's sort of clipping through his hand, I think, but I really don't care. And there's a book right here that we can pick up. I'm kind of sad he didn't have a one-liner corresponding to that book, but at the same time, he's had a lot of one-liners in this level. Apparently, we missed one of the secrets, and I honestly do not remember what that secret is. If anyone could ever fill me in, that would be great, because I'm too lazy to look it up myself. But that was the Citadel, and I guess the next time we play, we will go through what is called the Land of the Damned. If the data extracted from the Book of Wisdom is correct, this beautiful small village covered with snow is the hideout of the Arch-Ally Magi, the guys who wrote the very same book and know where the Holy Grail is. We should find some evidence here about the possible location of this crucial artifact. There are a few things mentioned in the Book of Wisdom that I don't get. There is a whole chapter about lava caves, a mystical place where the rivers of boiling magma are constantly flowing, and there is also a tale of an ice castle. But it's just too confusing. I'll need more time to put some pieces together, but whatever we do, we must get the Grail before Mental, or else. Or Elsa!
Man, it's cold. My nipples are like pencil erasers.
That's very insightful. So the next time we play, we will go through the Land of the Damned. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.